Okay, April's finally here, so I finally got the time to sit down, rewatch, get a recap of none other than season one of Star Wars is Endor. And before I get into this review, please don't forget to like, comment, follow this TikTok page. Send this review to another friend to send to another friend.
Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, link in bio.
That was supposed to be like my Darth Vader version of that. Now, again, guys, season two of this show is coming out this month, and I was super excited because look at this poster. Ooh. And my first thought reactions after watching this recap of this first season. For those that have never saw it, it's at least 12 episodes. Every episode has a different time. It's like 45 to 55 minutes long. First thoughts is I think this is the most dense, the most serious, the darkest, most mature Star Wars content I've ever watched again in my life. I also dig one half of the season more than the other half. I feel like this season is really split into two different narratives of story. And I fit into that is I just feel like 1 through 6 is a little slow at times. The pace is hard. I try to look through Star Wars series at this point through the viewer of like never seeing any of the movies. I feel like the first couple episodes, if I ain't never watched a Star Wars film, what the hell is going on? That's kind of a problem at times for me. Okay, for those that don't know, we're following this character named Cassian Andor, hence Andor. We find him in the film called Star Wars Rogue One, if you guys want to watch it. Now, this is supposed to be like his origin story, in my opinion. And it's also supposed to show you the lead up to Rogue One. Like, how does this badass rebel get into the mind state of where he's at in Rogue One? Now, I'm digging that. But now, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of fun stuff in this first half. Like, for Cassian to get to this point, you learn a lot about him. You learn that his mother was killed when he was a child. Then he's kind of like a street runner, in my opinion, and he's raised by another woman, and then gets lushed through episode 1 to 6, looking for his sister, I think, with a band crew of guys that go undercover in the Empire. It's really intense. And in this ragtag crew of this mission, in my opinion, this is like the first steps forward of how he is learning why this concept of the rebellion is important. Why fighting the Empire is important, because from his point of view, up to this point in the first 6 episodes, he's like, yo, I just want to get out of here. I want to get away from this lifestyle. And then you got a lot of 7 through 12 where he's then put into jail. So they give you a concept of the Empire at many different levels in this series of like where the world's at. Like the Empire is literally putting innocent people in jail. Exhibit A. And then he goes into a prison where it seems like building what they call the Death Star, which I thought was super cool to see. Like, you don't know it's the Death Star, but it's definitely like pieces of going towards the Death Star. And it's such an important place, jail cell, for guys just to be working and building. That gives them a perspective of even how more evil they are. I think I dug this a little more than the first half, because the more positives about this show is that we get so much more info about the character known as Mon Mothma. If you know who she is, she's a high political Star Wars character. She was in Clone Wars, Rebels. She's been in little clips and scenes in the movies, and she's like a political character. She's like a political. She also becomes a general in the rebellion, and that's where I find her character so interesting, because now you're getting the little plays of how she plays a big role leading into these movies down the line. Not to mention the most badass character with Ruthian, I think his name, and General Saw. I mean, seeing both these badass actors go back and forth in Star Wars was just so entertaining to watch. But not only that, we get so much more of how General Saw is being used at this point. Yo, he's being used as like bait to make the war even begun more, which I find so interesting, because General Saw has been used for positive and negative. He's such a great character. I am definitely more beyond hype for this next season. It gets me wondering where we going moving forward, because where we left off was a freaking cliffhanger. And at this point, the timeline, we're getting closer and closer to stuff like Rogue One and Star Wars: A New Hope. Guys, let me know in the comments, what was your favorite episode of season one of Andor?